sunlight, increased rotation. The forces of the heavens will move. Sun and moon will lose their shine. Never will anything contradict each other. What I have told you through the voice of the Spirit announce. Only you men cannot always grasp the right sense, and that is why you sometimes believe to find contradictions where none are present. Consider that the earth is one of the smallest heavenly bodies, and that this heavenly body is held by the sun in whose area it belongs. This sun shines through the earth, that is, it gives it light and thus guarantees all life of plants, animals and human beings. The sun again receives its luminosity from the universe. It is fed with light and power from myself or also from all light-receiving beings, to whom all to the visible and spiritual worlds are. The unswerving exchange of light and power between me and all my creatures is necessary to also preserve the endless many creations. So you know that also the light of sun is nothing else but permanent flooded light from me into the perfect beings, and through them all creations are fed with light and power. So you can explain the light of the sun as a spiritual radiation of myself. But then one thing must also be clear to you, that this radiation of myself is everything penetrates. That she is therefore well able to radiate also the whole earth, that there is no body for her, which would be able to stop the luminosity. Do you understand this? You men reckon with laws of earthly matter and earthly generated light. But these laws switch off, or they can as soon as a disorder has occurred in my great body of creation, which has spiritual cause, therefore also has to be spiritually repaired. Unprecedented spiritual revolutions are preparing themselves, and this means always increased activity, increased movement. I do not curb such an upheaval of the spiritual, but I limit its effect on the heavenly body affected. And I certainly have the power and the wisdom to also adapt such unusual processes to the lawful order that rules in my whole creation. It will certainly be possible for me to integrate a single celestial body into the great order of creation despite unlawful processes, so that still the existence of the former remains secured until the time I have planned to cause such chaos and the original order to restore. Every law I have given, and every law I myself can abolish, and so too, day and night be allowed to become according to my will, and the conditions for this are given in the actual reason for the sunlight, that always only spiritual radiance of myself is. Doesn't it say, the powers of heaven will move, sun and moon will lose their shine? Men on earth will be able to notice many a change when they look around clairvoyantly and clairaudiently, and purely earthly such changes will not be explainable. But for spiritual explanations the accessible to the fewest people. But I advance the spiritual, I announce the spiritual processes to you, but which also show earthly effects. What can be seen in the great man of creation that is beyond your knowledge? But the world of light looks after even the smallest earthly work of creation and directs light to it. So also the heavenly body earth is looked after by them and is supplied with light as my will determines it, and as it is beneficial to mankind that it does not suffer shortage, but also does not necessarily have to come to an understanding that is not conducive to spiritual development. For man is his own task, but the revolting spiritual also wants to assert itself. And its work is still to remain hidden to man as long as he still does not know about the connections. And that is why therefore also none will be so conspicuous changes in the laws of nature can be recognized, even though they exist. But remember that nothing is impossible for me. And think about what the light is at the bottom of the ground, where therefore also the light of the sun has its origin. And do not doubt, but believe. and you will always find the light in yourselves as you desire it from me. Amen.